Hi YouTube, we all know that cotton wool buds are not meant for putting in your ears, so what are they meant for? Well, let's make an alien seed pod. So first of all, take some out and basically make triangles out of them. So what I've been doing here is just taking three, I've got some sellotape and just wrapping it around quite a few times in each corner just to make them nice and strong. And then what you've got to do is make a whole load of them, so you end up with lots. Next you can form them into pyramids, and then you can add extra pyramids and things onto these pyramids to make whatever kind of shape you want, really. I've ended up with one that I tried out to start with, which is this shape here, which I quite like, and I could have ended up just wrapping this and painting it all up and calling it a day, but I changed my mind on the shape and I went for this shape instead. It's just quite a few more pyramids stuck together, and you can see on this one, if you count the number of actual cotton wool buds that are next to each other, you can see in quite a few places I've got 3 cotton wool buds, but in several places I've only got like 1 or 2. So I know where I need to add extra ones, and you just basically just position another triangle on, and you just wrap more sellotape around each time to form your basic shape. I'll fast forward this bit so you get the rough idea, but you can see it's basically just adding more sellotape, wrapping it around each middle section. And obviously the more sellotape you add, the stronger it becomes. Okay, for the next bit, I just got a load of kitchen paper, tear off quite a few sheets like this, and then you can just tear these random shapes out. This is just to get rid of all of the straight edges off the kitchen paper, so you just end up with these kind of little oval shapes. You don't want any of those straight bits because we're going to be using this for paper macheing. Okay, next take some PVA glue. I actually use flooring glue for this next bit, just because it's much stronger. You can buy super PVA glue, but that's really quite expensive. You're much better off just buying a big tub of flooring glue. It lasts for a lot longer. You can see I've got a few bits of sellotape here that have come loose, but that doesn't matter because they'll all get stuck down when I'm gluing. So just take your glue and just put it on very liberally all over, and then you can start wrapping your paper around it. If you've done paper macheing before, it's very easy. You get used to it if you haven't, but just keep adding more and more glue so you've got lots of coverage, and then you can wrap the paper. So I just get a little bit like this, put it on, and then you get more glue and you obviously paint over the top. This makes it really strong in the end, especially if you're using super PVA glue or flooring glue as opposed to just normal PVA glue. The whole thing becomes really quite rubbery when it's dried, and it's got a certain amount of flexibility to it and really strong. You could probably kick it around a bit like a football in the end. So it obviously takes a little while to cover every single bit, but it's worth it, and then you'll end up with something that looks like this, which is all nice and coated with the papier mâché, and as soon as the glue is dried, it's ready for painting. So I started with some green paint. This is just System 3 paint. I use this for all kinds of things that I'm painting, like if I'm doing little weird creatures and things as well, I use this. So this is leaf green. I'm just going to start with the inside first, and then I'll do the outside. I just found it a lot less messy to paint the inside first, then let that dry for a little while, and then paint the outside struts. Then I use some System 3 oxide of chromium green, which is much darker, and I've used this on the inside again. It's just a really nice way of making the inside look separate from the outside. Next I added some cadmium red in with my oxide of chromium green, and that just makes it slightly brownish, although I've added more red than green, so it is a nice sort of deep reddish brown. This colour I'm just going to add just to the ends of all of the rods on the inside. This will add like a sort of a blend really, coming from the middle outwards and also from the outside edges inwards. So you're leaving the sort of the dark green colour in the middle. My whole aim with this was to make it look quite plant-like. If you look at a lot of plants, they have this where they have this nice fade going from green to reddish sort of colour. So that's what I was going for, and I think it works quite well even at this stage. Next, to get an even better blend between the two colours that I've just used, I've really watered down this reddish brown colour, and then what I'm going to do is just go inside here, just where the two colours meet. You just add this kind of wash. So because it's more watery, it's much more see-through, and it just fades one colour into another, and you just do this all the way around. It shouldn't take you too long, especially if you work 20 times faster like I'm doing here. Next, you can take that same really watered down reddish brown colour, and you can do some of this on the outside. So I've been going into these central bits, and then you can see actually it kind of brings out a lot of the kind of wrinkles and things in the papier-mâché, which is really nice. It makes it look a lot more natural, and you can see you can just drag the brush and kind of fade it in. And I've done this again, you can see all the way around. So this is what it looked like at the end of that stage. I was pleased with how it's looking quite natural and plant-like. It just needs like a finishing touch. I was trying to think what else could I do to it just to finish it off, and in the end I decided just to dry brush some really pale orange colour onto it. When you're dry brushing, you're hardly adding any paint, but it just brings out some of those kind of high points of texture. So this is how it's ended up right at the end, and yeah, really pleased with it. So you can imagine it as a sort of a seed pod on an alien planet. I'm really into sort of seed pods and things. I collect them quite a lot. Lots, you know, from different countries all over the world, and there are some really quite fascinating shapes. Nothing quite like this though. This is more like the sort of thing you would find, like I say, on another planet. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Check out my other sculpting videos. Mainly I do kind of weird creatures and things from movies. So yeah, check that out if you get a chance. Hit subscribe if you want to see anything that I post up in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.